So lads, it's been a fucking hot minute. We've got a bit on today. We're going to talk about the name change from Killing It 4x4 to Talk and Talks. An engine dress kit that's supplied by DC Automotive, I believe. Yeah, there's a bit on today. It's New Year's Day now. So yeah, starting the new year. I thought I'd get back into making some content, but we'll see how we go. But for now, we're going to get through the Falcon and getting it ready for Summernats, because we are going to Summernats, and that is next week. No, this thing is not entered. It is not worth entering. It's not that good yet. I would like to get it up to scratch. We got a strip bolt that holds part of the timing cover on. So that's going to be a fix. Might have to epoxy it or do something dodgy. We've also got to put the dress up kit on, and we've also got a new header tank to install. And then a few other small things like power steering pumps. I'd like to do a remote resi, but it's a public holiday today, so we can't get any fittings or anything. So we'll go from there. So I thought I'd have a quick yarn about the whole name change. So long story short, Killing It 4x4 was a name that me and a buddy come up with. Brady, g'day mate if you're watching this. So I'm pretty sure the name was mainly him. We just had this idea when we were, I don't know, 15 or something like that, to start an Instagram page, post on people's rigs, and like start a community and that sort of stuff. And that's where this sort of came from. And it's always sort of been a dream of mine to make content. Killing It 4x4 carried through a few friendships. Obviously you guys would have seen Ryan in a few videos helping out with the shed, but a few things have changed. I'm not going to go into details. Just felt like the Killing It name sort of had a bad vibe after that. I just wanted a fresh start. Like, I got the Falcon now. Don't really have much full drive stuff going on. I don't have a shed. Because the Falcon's a fresh car to me, I've sort of got more motivation to get it done. So yeah, I wanted something that's sort of inclusive of everyone rather than just the 4x4 community. So as for this thing, dress cover for the ECU, dress cover for the power steering, new header tank, and dress cover for the master cylinder as well. Another somewhat simple job. Do not have a guard liner in this side. This is a good side of the car, and it's got the gutter ash wheel on it. No, I didn't do that. That's how I bought the car. So that wheel's got to go over onto this side because this is the ugly side of the car. This is just something small that I just want to do because the ugly side should have the ugly wheel and the nice side should have the nice wheel. So this is the worst job that we've got. And so this bolt here, mind you, this car is still pretty hot. As you can see, it's no longer tight, and that holds our intercooler pipe, hence the cable ties just here. So this is holding that off our belt. Anyone with a good eye will see that that belt is no longer the width that it should be. We've got to fix that. We do have a slight coolant leak out of this radiator hose that I also might fix later on. It's not major, it's just a drip. Stain coming out of the thermostat housing is old. All these other things are simple jobs. This is not. There's nothing wrong with this bolt, but the head where this bolts into is stripped. There is no longer a thread in there. As you can see, that is far too long for a helicoil kit, a drill, or a tap to get into. So that is something I've got to try and work out. I honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but maybe we'll get the simple jobs out of the way and then go from there. I've also just noticed that my throttle body is missing a screw. Being completely transparent, this thing is a 10 grand Falcon. It boogies, it's powerful, sounds cool, but yeah, at the end of the day, it is a 10 grand Falcon. I've also got to do pod filter when you want to go in, just a cheapie for the time being, because my dumbass, last time I washed it, I did not have this cover on, so I decided to put a plastic bag over the pod filter. Started the car, forgot about the plastic bag, and it sucked the pod filter into a little crushed can. So you guys will see that later. Right, so this is what we got to do. This is DC Automotive engine bay cover kit. You can get these over on eBay or at DC Automotive's website directly. I'll drop the link below. But that's for the ECU, which in these things the ECU is ugly. It's right there in the engine bay. It's convenient, but it is very ugly. We've also got brake master cylinder and power steering cover. Now this one might be redundant. Definitely not today because I've run out of time, but I want to make this a remote reservoir. I wouldn't mind putting it over in the back corner next to the brake master cylinder, but I've also got a lot of spare room over here. However, this is where our intake plenum will be once we acquire one. So I'll work out that, but I doubt that's going to be in this video because I've got a lot more other shit to do that's more important. Also got our inner guard liner. We've got to do that. There's our pod filter. Yes. Anyone that cares about their car will know that that's a cheap shit pod filter. It is K&N, logo means cool. It's a multi-fit, but that's what I can afford at the moment. That's not your issue, that's my issue. And we've also got a header tank to put on as well. which will, it's not going to make it look the best in the world, obviously, but it will make it look much, much nicer because that stands out like a sore thumb. And once we get rid of this big intake pipe with our intake plenum, it'll look a lot better. Because when you're standing here, again, it's not $1 million engine bay, but it just makes that tiny bit of a difference that makes it look a little bit nicer. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull this intercooler piping out. I'm gonna get this power steering pump done, and I'm gonna try and figure out how I can secure this intercooler pipe without it causing any issues. This is working, however, it looks shit, and I'm not a fan of shit that looks shit. So we'll see what we can do. We'll go from there. So, with the biggest pickle, I was just sitting there talking to the young fella and fucking around with this bolt for a little bit while I was trying to work out what I can actually do. I had a little bit of a win. So I put this bolt in without the intercooler pipe on, and I should have realised this in the first place, but we've still got a good 8 mil of thread there that is working and that is tight. So I can still do this up, and there's plenty of thread there. Obviously, there's not as much thread as what we want. This thing had from factory, but that means I can go and get a bolt that's 10 mil longer, and we can bolt up our intercooler pipe and everything will be as good as new. Just can't over tighten it. So we're gonna go for a run in town in the missus car and hopefully try and find a bolt that's this long. I fucking doubt we're gonna find anything, but we're gonna go and give it a red hot crack and come back and do the rest of the shit we gotta do. Right, so everywhere in this town is shut on a Saturday, so I had to make do, and I went to the old drawer from work, and we've just managed to find some threaded rod. So I had about a foot long of threaded rod in there that, for some coincidence sake, is the exact same thread and size as the bolt that we need. So I've doubled up some nuts in the end, made this a little bit too long so we can catch the decent thread at the back of the hole and also hold our intercooler pipe on. So yeah, we've got ourselves out of trouble for now. I'm going to use a little bit of Loctite so I don't have to do it up as tight. I can just do it up a little bit, and because there's not much thread. There's only maybe 6-7 mil of thread left in there out of the probably 10-12 mil of thread that would have been in there in the first place before the rest of it was stripped out. So we're going to use that to get that side of things out of trouble. So that's the biggest fuck around fixed, solved, all good. And then now all we've got to do is pull this power steering pump out. Once we get that done, we can move on to putting everything back together, etc. And I also noticed that our intercooler pipe that crosses over was rubbing on the belts. So I've got to replace that silicone and go from there. I don't really want... Oh, over that alt nail so it doesn't get ruined. Just remember you have. That's handy. Oh, holy f, that's tight. That one's now on the ground.
Camera's just becoming shit.
Yeah, right. You see it on the camera there, that little bubble? That's from when the engine mounts were broken and I kept driving it anyway. It rubbed on the fucking AC pump and nearly melted a hole in my intercooler pipe. Thank you. Any clamps? Also gonna get in there, yes. That's as tight as I'm willing to do it.
Music.
That's the aircon, yeah?
Nah, just the 8-wheel socket.
And the screw.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we've got everything but the inner guard done because I don't actually have the right body clips / push pins, whatever you want to call them, that push into there which go into the guard, and I don't have enough time to run into town and get them at the moment. I've got some other stuff planned for today, so I've got to get them. I'll do that after Summernats. That's not overly important of a job. Everything else is done. Intercooler pipe's fixed. I've actually tied them up as well. They're not rubbing anywhere anymore. Intake's fixed. It's not rubbing on the power steering anymore. Engine covers are on. The header tank is in, which looks far, far better. But I did just find that we've got the pinch hose clamps that come factory in these things. It's slightly too big. I'm not tightening enough on that bottom hose going to the radiator. So I'm gonna have to swap that out, but I'll probably get to that sometime later today or in the morning before I leave, because it's a little bit of a pain in the ass and the car's a bit warm at the moment. So I'm gonna quickly wash it, take it over to the house, chuck it on the car cover, and that'll be about it. I know it's been a hot minute since I've done any recording, making any videos, stuff like that. The whole name change. There's been a lot changed. I'm not the shed anymore. Shed's long gone. It's in the new year. We're gonna put all that shit behind us. We're hopefully gonna make some more content. I am going to Summernats this year, going with a couple of mates. I'm more than happy to make some content. If that's something that you guys are interested in, chuck a comment below. Or if this is on TikTok, if you're seeing a clip on TikTok, let us know. We're going to Summernats and we'll try and get some cinematics or whatever of some nice cars. So if you want to see something like that, let us know. I could do like a short, brief cool video, like edit or something, or I can do a bit more of an in-depth of what Summernats is all about for those people that haven't been before and want to go. I want to see if it's really worth the money, because it's a lot of money to go to Summernats. It's a long way away for a lot of people. For me, it's a 7.5 hour travel, but it's fucking worth it. I think you can see from all the edits and from everyone else that goes to Summernats how worth it is, but you know, I could probably make a video on it. I'm gonna get this car washed and I'll probably chuck a time-lapse in or something of that happening, chuck a car cover over it, go park her up and have her ready to go 2 a.m. Thursday morning. Thanks for watching, everyone. This will be like the outro, even though there's a bit more going on after it. I might record another outro, who knows. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Call your mates. It ain't weak to speak. Start talking to your buddies, because like I say at the end of the last video and the video before that statistic's way too high. And a lot of us blokes don't talk to each other. You got some shit going on, just call your mate. Even if you don't have shit going on, call your mate, check up on him, see how he's going. Ask the real question. Don't just sit there and be a dick. Cheers, God.